are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
Well, good morning and welcome to Unity Church in Reading. Please stand for our opening song. We are all friends here.
We are all friends here. There are no strangers once you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. We are all friends here. There are no strangers once you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. We are all friends here. There are no strangers once you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. And hold you in our hearts the way you are. And hold you in our hearts the way you are.
Thank you, Anton and Laura. And
You're
good
welcome.
morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity Church in Reading. And after that wonderful welcoming song, now is time for our congregational blessing. So together, let us say, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. And you, and you, and you. Oh, what a beautiful morning. A little less smoke this morning, isn't there? We can breathe. Oh, and doesn't it feel wonderful? Yes. So with that, let us take a deep breath and begin with our opening prayer. Great Holy Spirit, our hearts are filled with gratitude as we gather this morning together to celebrate life, to celebrate the goodness of all that is, to come knowing that whatever is happening in this outer world, that truly all is well. The theme of World Day of Prayer this past Thursday was, "All is well with my soul." And we know that all is always well with our soul. And so as we sit together this morning and rest and just give ourselves the opportunity to receive, we do so knowing that grace is being poured upon us and that all is well with our soul. And so it is. Amen. And Laura, will you please light our Christ candle? Thank you. And let us say together with Laura, we light this candle to remind us that the light of Christ lives within each one of us. And together, I am the light of Christ. And now let us say together our Lord's Prayer, which comes from the Aramaic tradition. Our Father, who is everywhere present, wholeness is your name. Your kingdom is come, your will is being done, in earth as it is in heaven. You give us this day and every day our daily bread, and you forgive us as we forgive. You leave us not in temptation, for you deliver us from error. For you are the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. And this morning I would like to introduce Anton and Laura from Mount Shasta, who are our musicians for the day. I would like to introduce Reverend Ken, our associate, who is going to be doing platform this morning. And I am Reverend Carolyn, your senior minister.
Thank you, Reverend Carolyn.
You are so welcome.
What a great start. You know, for those people out in the internet land, I would like to show our banner for this particular talk, this particular Sunday, and it is love. This is one of the banners that when Carolyn first saw them, she chose, without a doubt, representing love. So that is absolutely wonderful. Thank you. And as we move forward, let us start with our for guidance from the Daily Word. The guidance affirmation tells us that the light of divine wisdom guides my every step. And any question that I have on my mind, any concerns in my heart, I can direct to my divine wisdom. And it arises and gives me an intelligence signal that I recognize as both my answer and as my sense of direction. It is both wisdom and decision-making that we look for when we ask for divine guidance. And let's say the affirmation for divine guidance together. Together? Ooh, the light guides every thought. And we are blessed. And now let's do our UCIR consciousness statement itself. And this we hold for the love and the work that we do here at Unity Church in Reading. Together, divine order is now manifesting in every phase of this ministry through its expanding prosperity, attendance, and by being a light on the path for others. And we are blessed. As we move into our joy song, I start my day.
All right. Now, this is a great song for shakers.
Which part?
The whole thing, the whole thing. Wrists, elbows, toes, and the little shakers you have in your hands. And this song is by Karen Drucker. Yeah, stand up, you might as well, because you can dance to this. I start my day with love. I start my day with love. That's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. Here we go. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with peace. I feel that sweet release of peace. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. Let's feel it. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Now the joy song. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. Woo! Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Here we go. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. Last time, day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. Woo! Thank you all.
That would be Al. Al, could I invite you to come up and share the daily word with us?
Reverend Ken, I thought you would never ask. My feet are very long. Thank you for the grand I have to say that I will be with you in spirit next week, since I will be up in the Seattle Tacoma area. And but I will be with you in spirit, as always, sharing the daily word. Today's word is, and theme is guidance. And, oh, gosh, can we ever get enough of that? And it's reassuring to me that that little voice inside is always there. If we want to turn to it and listen to it, it's very reassuring that we can go quietly inside and receive some guidance if we seek it and listen. And that's very special to me. So our affirmation today is, I open my mind and heart to receive my guidance. You want to join with me, please? I open my mind and heart to receive my guidance. And for those of you out there, far, far away, please know that you are with us in spirit, and we are with you. And we hope you will join us with the Daily Word and with the entire service. Welcome. Sometimes I have insisted on figuring things out for myself rather than asking for anyone's help. Over the years, I have learned the value of asking for guidance and sharing what I've learned when others ask me. As we exchange ideas, we may tap into a higher wisdom that had not been apparent to either of us alone. This higher wisdom is not outside myself. It is a still, small voice, mine to call upon at any time. I am always able to ask for guidance to show me the way forward. I access my inner guidance by opening my mind and heart in prayer. Then I watch and listen, remembering that divine guidance may come in a familiar way or perhaps in an unexpected way that will surprise and delight me. These thoughts were inspired from Isaiah, 55th chapter, the 9th verse, which reads, "For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts."
I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening.
Oh, divine Spirit, we know that that presence of Spirit, of divine guidance is within us. We can feel the peace, the joy, and the love when it manifests as us. For we are the manifestation of Spirit. So as we prepare for meditation, we relax. We let go of the toils, the cares that we have carried into this sanctuary. We let them go. And we hold the vision of the divine light within us. The glow of the knowing that divine Spirit resides in us. We can feel that warmth, bringing love and joy and peace through our hearts. We can feel our mind becoming enlightened as it works in conjunction with our heart. We feel this oneness. We feel it within ourselves as we rest in the silence of Spirit. And as we prepare to return to this time and this place, we can feel the glow shining through us. We can allow that Spirit to flow through us. We can see it manifesting as us in this world. The love, the joy, the peace. They are who we are. And it is our free will to allow them to flow forth into this world. So throughout this day, we see with love, we hear with joy, and we take action with love. And we know that this love flows through to all of our family and friends. So let's bring their names that we hold dear into this room, into this sanctuary of love where this energy is flowing. Let's bring forth those names together aloud. And now let's bring forth our name. Our name that we are willing to step forward in faith and in spirit as a manifestation of that love. Together. We unfold our names, the names of our family and friends, all the names in the prayer box, all of the prayers that were brought forth on the World Day of Prayer, Silent Unity, even the names that we think of in the afternoon are enfolded in the love of God. We know thy divine will is taking place. The highest and best in each condition is working through for manifestation. And we are blessed to be that Spirit here on earth. And so it is. And now we get to hear some more beautiful music.
We're going to do a song for you this morning by Eddie Watkins Jr. Here we all are gathered together in this place. Why are we here?
What is his purpose? What is his will? How do we know what's true and what's real? We may not know where life's road will lead, but it doesn't matter long as we believe that love is the answer. Love is the answer. Love is the answer
To whatever the question
may be.
What's going on in this world today? Where do we fit? What can we do?
To make a difference, what can we say? Where do we go? This way or that way? If we always and truly believe and love one another, we can let the world see
That
love is the answer. Love is the answer. Love is the answer.
to whatever
Whatever
the
question may be. We may not know where life's road will lead, but it
whatever
whatever
the question
question
may
may be.
Thank you. And thank you, Anton and Laura. Love is the answer, isn't it?
So I realized there was a little thing I neglected to say, and that is that this song is called The Answer, and the real words are God is the answer. But we called Eddie Watkins Jr., he's our friend, and so we called him up and we said, do you mind if we use love as the answer? She said, love, God, it's all the same,
It's
isn't
all
it?
one, isn't it?
So
Oh,
he said,
thank
"Of
you for
course."
doing that. It was perfect for this morning. And I love the melody of that. It's just nice, nice, nice. So, love. How many times a day do you use that word? Like, I love you, or I love the outfit you're wearing, or I love our church. I happen to use that word a lot. I love life. And so I tend to use that word over and over again. I have a friend who rarely uses the word. And so I think maybe I use the word too generically. Maybe my friend just perceives and feels things differently from the way I do. We are the only ones who can determine what we feel and how we express it. The Greeks had 8 different meanings for the word love. The Urban Dictionary has 36 different meanings for the word love. Just think of the various ways we use that word. And when we're coming from love, don't we just see it everywhere we look? This morning we're going to be specific. We're going to use love in the way that it is described and defined in one of the 12 unity powers, the power of love. And in that power, it is described as the ability to desire, to attract, and to unify. Now we know that whatever we put our attention on, whatever we intend, we usually or tend to attract into our lives. And when we're coming from our highest self, from our highest and best, we love each other. We love Mother Earth. We feel connected. We feel unified with the whole. So that is how we will think of love this morning. Being unified with all there is. Love is the answer. Love. When I was working yesterday on what I might say today, I went to the first commandment and the way that Jesus used the first commandment. And I was struck entirely differently. And I want you to listen to it this morning, the way that it's reported in the book of Matthew, where it says, Jesus said, "You shall love your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the greatest commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself." Now, when I've thought of those commandments in the past, I've thought, love God and love your neighbor as yourself. There are some important words that I tended to overlook. Jesus didn't say love God. He said love your God. That makes all the difference in the world to me. Because if Jesus had said, love God, it feels like he might be talking about a God out there, a God that I pray to, or a God that I sing praises to. But that's not what he said. He said, love your God. And I think that what he was saying is love that God that lives within you, because isn't that what he taught? He didn't teach that God lived out there. He said God lives right within you. This is where the kingdom is, closer than hands and feet. And then the second part, the way he introduced the second commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. I think he was saying the same thing. When you love your God, that God that is within you, then you love that God that is within your neighbor. And you love that part of that person just as you love yourself. I find it so exciting that when I'm practicing creating a talk, and it is a practice, that I oftentimes hear things and perceive things really differently. I see small words that I've never paid much attention to before. The word your in the first commandment. The words, and the second is like it in the second commandment. It can make all the difference in the world. And so to me, it was just reinforced this morning that in those commandments, Jesus was saying what he always said. God lives within you. God lives within your neighbor. When you love your God, you can love your neighbor's God. So how do we love ourselves? How do we love that God that lives within us with a purity that is not egotistical? Like sometimes when a person says, oh, I love myself, it can almost feel like it's an egotistical statement, isn't it? When really what they might be saying is, I am loving that highest and best part of who I am. In his book, The Power of Love, James Van Praagh told us that the highest goal that we can strive to attain on this earthly realm is to learn to love ourselves unconditionally. He goes on to say that it is only when we love ourselves and love ourselves in quality that we can give that love, that we can give quality of love to someone else. So how do we love ourselves? It's really interesting. As you know, I'm doing some writing for Unity now, and in this last piece that I and others of us were to turn in, the person who edits these said, over and over again, we get requests not only for the articles, but for practical ways to use what is being said. So at the end of the article, please put 3 or 4 or 5 ways that the person can practically use what is being said, because we are practical Christianity, aren't we? So what we want to do this morning is think of some practical ways that, first of all, we can love ourselves with a purity, can love that God that lives within us, and then give that love freely and wholly to another. Before we can love ourselves, we have to know what we love, what we like. What brings joy to you? What brings a fullness to you? Because we have all heard that well-used phrase. Let's see, what was the well-known phrase that I was thinking about? you can only give away as much love as you have. Okay, thank you, God. We can only give what we have to give. And if I'm giving from an empty cup, I'm just using myself up, aren't I? Have you ever known somebody who gives and gives and gives, and people say, oh, this person is so kind. But they then begin to resent what they give because they're not giving from their own fullness. They're giving because they'd like something in return, or they're giving because they think they should give. That makes them a good person. And when we're feeling resentful about what we're giving, there's really no kindness in it, is there? The Dalai Lama said that kindness is his religion. He might as well have said, love is my religion, or God is my religion. Isn't it all one and the same? Love, kindness, God. It truly is the answer. So as we watch ourselves and we become aware of what we do and don't give to ourselves, how we do and don't come from a place of kindness, so that we're giving from a fullness when our cup is running over, and we give from that overflow, where people know that they are respected and cared for and loved because that's who we are and that's who we are giving. What must I do to give from that place of wholeness? The first thing I must do is release my past. I have to be willing to release anything that anyone ever said to me or did to me that belittled in any way that God that lives within me. And I do that through forgiveness. I forgive the other person, knowing that they were coming from the best that they could come from in that particular moment. I forgive myself for having believed what that other person said about me. That I took on and believed that I was less because this is what this person said. It's hard work. It's especially hard work because many of us were given as children, not from our parents necessarily, but from peers or from teachers or from sources that we weren't even aware of, that maybe we weren't as whole and as perfect and as good as we were created to be. And so we let all of that go. We forgive it. And then we stop our fear of giving who we truly are. Sometimes when we give who we truly are, it doesn't look at all like the way that other people give. Or it doesn't look at all like the world says we should give. Sometimes I think of our friend, my dear friend Twyla, who recently made her passing. And I think of how flamboyantly Twyla dressed. And I think about how out there she was. And there were some people that thought it was just over the top for a woman almost 90 years old. But let me tell you, she came from such a place of love, such a place of giving, such a place of wholeness. She did not tone herself down because of something that someone had said to her. I don't know if you remember, but in the book, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, the second agreement is don't take anything personally. And what he was saying in that agreement is, remember, everyone comes from their own perception. Everyone comes from who they are in that given moment. So if somebody belittles you, if someone is critical of you, just listen. maybe even say thank you, and know that that is not who you are. Now, sometimes people give us feedback, and those are messages that we can use to grow. We want to pay attention to that kind of thing and evaluate. Does this fit for me or does it not? But when people are being critical of who we are, remember that those criticisms are coming from where they are in their life at that particular time. Finally, when we are evaluating the quality of the love that we have for ourselves, we go into the silence and we commune with that inner God, that spirit that lives within. And we say, what is it that brings me my greatest joy? Where might I need to be serving so that I'm increasing the joy that I have? Because as I give, I do receive. And not only do we listen, but when we receive guidance from that still small voice, we act on it. And when we act, we begin to notice, I am giving from a place of love, a place of wholeness, a place of fullness. The power of love, this love that we're talking about, is very closely related with the power of wisdom. And we'll be talking about the power of wisdom next week. Because when we combine love with wisdom, we remember and we recognize that we don't have to like everybody. We don't have to like what everybody does or all those things that we see in the world. We don't have to bring every single person into our personal realm, into our circle. But what we do need to do is whether we like a person, whether they resonate with us or not, whether we resonate with what is happening in the world, it is our job to pause and look for the Christ. Look for that light in the other, because it is there. It is an inherent part of who we are, and it is in every single one of us. And when I'm coming from love, it is easier for me to see that point in another person, whether they know that it is there or not. So we use our wisdom combined with love so that we come from our highest and best and we see with our highest and best and what is in the other person. So this week, let us take some time when we are going to be moving our feet, when we're going to be acting, and we ought to ask questions. Maybe it's of a decision I make. Am I taking time today to go to my inner guidance to see if this is something that truly brings me joy? Is this something that enhances me so that I am coming from my full inner spirit? Am I communicating who I am as honestly as possible? And finally, am I taking the time in my interactions to see that Christ in the other person? When we do that together this week, let us know that we are all doing it with each other and we are resonating vibrationally with each other and feeling the love that is there. When we remember Sunday morning and who we looked at and the eyes that we saw, we are together throughout the week. We will be living in love, and we will be recognizing the quality of love that we have for ourselves and the quality of love that we are giving to our neighbor. And I want to close this morning with a writing that Lori sent to me this week. I think she sent it to everyone in the class called The Presence, which we're doing right now. And it's from the book called The Way of Knowing. And I thought that it would, I guess it's The Way of the Masters, isn't it, Lori? Okay, so it's the Mastery, and the third trilogy is The Way of Knowing. And this came from page 166, and I think it's a perfect closing for this morning. Give perfect freedom to all great created things. They are given for your enjoyment and for you to bless. Seek to possess no one and no thing. Seek to change nothing and no one. Seek only to love. And in love, you are set free. Simply make the decision to spend 5 minutes doing nothing but loving all that you see through the body's eyes, all that you notice arising in the mind as a memory or an image of a friend, or what you have or an event, any event that has occurred. Simply decide to love it. Peace is present in every decision for love. Decide to enjoy that power of awareness by selecting only loving thoughts. Have a beautiful week, selecting only loving thoughts and giving from the fullness that you are. And know that I love each of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. A great charge for this week is to only choose those loving thoughts and for our divine guidance. So I'll ask the ushers to come forward, and we will now have our offertory. So let's hold our offering in our hands and let's bless it together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we are blessed. And together, abundance.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love.
There is only love.
Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love.
When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only
love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. And I hear this voice that sets us free.
There is only
love that heals, love that sets us free.
there is only love.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And before we bless this offering, I just want you to close your eyes for a moment and feel. Can you just almost touch that love that's flowing throughout this room this morning? Ooh, it's great. We are so grateful for these offerings that have been given today. We know that they have been given from love, from generous, caring hearts that love this congregation, that love our church, that love our community and our world. And because they have been given in the spirit that as we give, we receive, we know that that cycle of circulation is always at work, and that those who give do receive. So whether you have chosen to give of your time or your talent or your treasure, we say thank you and we bless you. And so it is. Amen. You know, it's easy to see it in the music that Anton and Laura sing, how everything that they sing always supports the message. But there are little things that you may not consciously be aware of, so that whatever the message for the day is, it is always supported. The morning prayer always uses one or two words that'll be in the message. When Ken does the meditation or when Kathy does the meditation, there is always a tie-in with the message. It's really beautiful how in that subtle way, everything is focusing us in one direction. And I thank everybody who participates for that coordination, because it just empowers the whole service. So thank you. And thank you for being receivers. And thank you who come to us from afar. We see every Sunday morning when we review the service if you've been with us. So thank you. Our announcements for today. The church office will be open Tuesday through Thursday this week from 10 until 4, and so feel free to come in. If you'd like a little bit longer time with us, call to make an appointment to make sure that we have the space. You can see Ken or me for prayer before or after the Sunday service, and when Kathy is here, she's available also. She is our prayer chaplain. Our noon meditation continues to meet in the sanctuary every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And there's also a call-in number. And it's really great. We have one or two people who continuously call in, so they're meditating right from home. And that number's on the bulletin board in our hallway, or it is in your e-blast or e-news. The groups meeting this week are A Course of Love and A Course of Miracles and The Presence. Check the bulletin board for any of our 12-step program offerings. We'll continue our after-service class discussion today, which is on Eckhart Tolle's Birth, the New Earth, and he does this with Oprah Winfrey. The class begins at 11:45, or it's a discussion group. It's not really a class. Remember, please, to sign up in the social hall for Brian Lotman, who's coming on the 23rd from 1 to 3. Kathy made us a beautiful sign-up sheet. It's out there. I really encourage you to attend this. He is highly, highly recommended. And Al has already sat with this man and just has beautiful things to say about him. He'll be doing meditation, he'll be doing chanting, and he plays the harmonium. A Unity Church down in Stockton liked him so much last year that this year they're having him for 4 days. So I think that you'll be giving yourself a real gift. There is a suggested love offering of $15. We have books from Twyla on the back table in the social hall, $2 per book, or 5 books for $5 for 5 books. 5 books for $1. If that's what you feel like, do it. They're new books from last week. They're not the same books. So if you looked last week, look again this week. Cookies. Twyla's memorial is on Friday afternoon, this coming, the 17th, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's going to be held at the Center for Spiritual Living. Ken and I and Sue and Mary from the center will be conducting the service, and it's our job to provide the cookies. So if you would be willing to bake cookies, if you would please see me after service, I would really, really appreciate it, and so would Twyla. We look forward to seeing you next Sunday, and I do believe that next Sunday we'll be talking about wisdom. So come and enjoy yourself and have a beautiful week living in love. Thank you for being here. And now for our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Prayer for protection. I forgot to say, if you are planning to attend Twyla's, if you are planning to attend Twyla's memorial service, thank you, Jerry. She requested that if you have anything purple, to please wear it because she loved purple. So we are getting a lot of guidance from Twyla about what she wanted. So it's going to be a fun memorial. She wanted it to be like a party, and it will be very sacred, but it will also be joyous. So as we say our prayer for protection together this morning, Diana is going to do our response. The light of God surrounds us.
We are the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
We are the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
We embrace that power.
Our God watches over us.
We live our lives in God's presence. Wherever we are, God is.
And so it is. Have a beautiful, beautiful week, everyone, and thank you for being here.